Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Scout Blue, and welcome back to another YouTube commentary video. And in this video, we have just recently saw that some more gameplay of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which isn't my normal genre of games, but it's a game that I'm really excited for. So I really want to talk about because I've recently been watching the History Channel's Vikings show. I've been rewatching it. There's about 6 seasons or so, and it starts with the Vikings and how they started raiding um England and lots of Europe. So obviously, as you guys know, the Vikings came from Scandinavia, which consists of Norway, Sweden, and that upper north region of Europe. And they came across to England and they started raiding at Lindisfarne, which was one of the first raids. It was a little monastery, and that was their first raid. And that's when it just started, as they started raiding more in Wessex, which in the trailer it says that that's where they started. Um, but I feel like they could go a lot more in depth. I definitely bet there'll be a Lindisfarne raid as your first raid. That'd be very cool if they just started it right from when the Vikings actually started raiding. But I think they can go very much in depth with where you raid, how you raid, what kind of obstacles you get into, because it'd be kind of boring if you just saw like a town or a castle and it was just all the time, you're ramming through each gate, you're running up, killing a boss, and you're done, you're looting. I think that there should be a lot more obstacles. Like towns and farms can be, kind of like on the easier side. But I mean, big castles and fortresses, like the town of York, that was a very big Viking settlement in northeast England near the coast. That was a very big Viking settlement, and that town of York or city of York nowadays is it has a wall going around and everything. And I think that could be like a very big focus point for a raid that you have to do. But there's different ways you can go about it. You could, you know, just have a big force hit it straight on, or you can have like 3 or 4 different forces hitting it from all different angles. Because I know that the Vikings were very non-conventional with their warfare, and they're very like strong warriors. So if you can choose different ways to raid, that'd be very cool. And then I saw in the trailer, or in like the walkthrough trailer, that Avar, your Viking, can actually like cloak in with like a hooded kind of like big jacket type fur coat, and the English won't like see where he is if he stays undercover. Very Assassin's Creed like. But I mean, maybe you could sneak into the town, have all your Vikings waiting outside the town, and then when it gets dark, you let them all in and all like raise hell in the town. I think that'd be a very cool aspect with different types of raiding and also where they raided. I mean, the Vikings, discovered Iceland and Greenland and some of North America, which, I mean, those kind of sections weren't very much raidable, but England very much was, because it was probably one of the biggest superpowers of that time and around, what was it? The end of the, I mean, it was 793 AD. That was when that first attack on Lindisfarne happened. And then that just opened up the gates to raiding in England. But as they keep on raiding, the Vikings went to England, and then they went through the British Isles up into the Mediterranean. They hit Paris, France, which that'd be such a cool either like DLC or just a little like spin-off type mission, because I know on Black Flags you go down the coast and go on different missions down there, but it was like kind of off to the side of the main quest. But I mean, I know they just said kind of England, but maybe they throw in a side quest or a side set of missions where you actually try raiding the city of Paris, which would be such an amazing battle, an amazing kind of scene for the Vikings or you, Avar, to kind of strategize your way around and how to get the most loot, how to get in the city quick enough. Because when you raid Lindisfarne, it's a very small little church, but if you raid bigger towns like York and Paris, those can definitely throw more obstacles at you. I just watched one of the episodes in Vikings where they raided Paris, and the the soldiers in Paris were using like flammable liquid to stop their ships, and using, you know, crossbows instead of bows and arrows, and had all these different traps that the Vikings had to work around. So you as Avar could be able to different like be able to strategize your way into different types of situations and conflicts. And so, as I said, the Vikings raided all throughout England, and then went into France, and definitely raided through Normandy, France, which also means land of the Northmen. And so you can be raiding up into Paris, and you can go even down into Spain, or modern day Spain, North Africa, a lot of other countries in the Mediterranean they also went to, which that's a little bit of stretch. I get that. But again, I think that'd just be very interesting to have a little spin-off where you raid in entirely different countries other than just England. Which I know, again, that's a stretch, but that's something I'd really like to see. So next, the next thing is that Norse mythology is very big with like Odin and Floki and all these different gods, which I feel like if they really delve deep into why these Vikings are raiding, like how they please their gods, such as how the show Vikings very distinctly sets a big, I don't know how to really explain it, but a big backdrop of how the Vikings are trying to please the gods. And maybe then we can go into that. I mean, I know there's definitely gonna be boss fights that have to do with different gods and whatnot. But I think if you could really try to hammer down on Viking culture, on why they do like sacrifices, why they punish people the way they do, that could be very, very interesting. I think that could just be something that's untapped, and that would get a lot of people excited about like Vikings and Norse mythology. So I mean, what do you guys think? I think that's very cool. If you guys want to see anything else added, just comment it down. I mean, I don't know. I feel like this settlement idea would be very cool. I bet there could be like counter raids from English or from other Viking clans to take down one of their settlements in England, because that's really what the premise is, that Vikings want to raid to, get like the loot, and also to make these settlements, because Norway and Scandinavia don't have the type of soil that, England does. So again, that'd be very cool. I also wouldn't mind seeing some constant like civil war in Norway, because lots of the Vikings really grew up on these constant civil wars and disputes over their farmland, and that's how they became such um fierce fighters, and also that they always wanted a secure spot in Valhalla with the gods, which is, I mean, the name of the game. So I hope they definitely mention that. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing different clans of Vikings fighting in feuds, or even you get all the clans together to do a really big raid on Paris or on York or on different bigger cities in England or in Europe. So again, I think that'd be very cool. I think the boss fights with godlike creatures wouldn't be a bad idea. And I think that they definitely need to delve into Viking culture a lot. I think that would very much interest me and other people. But what do you guys think? I definitely like different weapons you can use. I like that I've seen some of the brutal combat. It looks very good. I hope the story is up to par. I hope it's a very, very good story. Um, what else? Anything else? I don't know. I think it needs a lot of diversity, and I think you need a lot of choices in this game to very much make it your own world, your own choices, your own story as the Viking Avar, or any other Viking you choose. So again, I think that'd be very cool. Maybe you start off like Vikings as a farmer, and then you grow to be a king. Maybe you're just a warrior. Maybe you're an outcast. You have these great ideas of raiding west to England. There's so many different routes they can come at this. I haven't seen very much in the trailers about the story. It's more just about Avar. You lead a clan, I guess, maybe, and then you want to find like settlements. So I think there's a lot more that can be done with this. Um, if you guys are really interested in this Norse mythology, I definitely recommend watching the History Channel show Vikings. It's around, I think, 6 or 7 seasons are going on there, 6 or 7 seasons. a very great show. You'll like it if you're excited for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. But guys, if you have any other comments, questions, concerns, suggestions, please drop in the comments. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.